The reason this is called changing of the guard is because you guys are literally watching the evolution of battle rap in real time. You're starting to see the shift in the landscape. So when we talk about Mount Rushmore, we always have our staples, the guys that laid the groundwork, the foundation. It's always gonna be Mook, Lux, Rex, Hollow, Disaster, Averb. It's just certain names that are just mainstays on the Mount Rushmore. And that's fine. But I think it's dangerous to withhold proper recognition for the guys that came after them. The guys such as Danny Myers, JC, Rum Nitty, Geechee Gotti, B-Dot, Jazz the Rapper, Hustle, just so many names that I can name. I mean, these guys laid the groundwork for us to do what we do. But when this culture is about passing the torch so we can move forward. We can move forward. If they have the torch and say, here you guys go, run with it. Here's the thing, the dichotomy is, these guys are competitors. They laid the work and they are labeled as the GOATs. And they're like, we ain't giving y'all niggas shit. We built this. We are the GOATs. So basically, we're always gonna be second rate or second ballot or first ballot Hall of Fame after the guys who came before us, which I don't think it allows for growth, because when you look at the overall landscape, guys like Geechee Gotti came in and within a 4 to 5 year span went from a PG to Loaded Lux. Again, when you see performances like Jazz the Rappers on the Drake Till Death Do Us Part event, right? Jazz arguably had the performance of the night on a card that featured names like Geechee Gotti and Tay Rock and Twerk and Surf, some of the best performers in the world. Jazz the Rapper has a standout performance, and this is why I say you can see the shift in the culture. So, Jazz, like Lux, they don't really battle often. They take a hiatus, they come back, the culture goes crazy because it's their return. Every time they battle, it's their return. But the difference between Jazz and Lux is Jazz is coming and giving 3 complete rounds of fire, and this is how you're supposed to be when you're sitting out. And this is the thing, right? Check this out. So when you battle often, like myself, the more you put yourself in the field, the more opportunities you have to get sniped. The more opportunities you have of slipping up when you constantly battling, right? So it makes the percentage, the ratio is higher for you to have a bad game or to get killed in there, right? When people like Jazz Rapper, Loaded Lux, Murder Mook, Hollow the Don, when they step on that stage, the expectations are always up here. And to be fair to Jazz the Rapper, I believe she's really the one that's setting the benchmark when it comes to not battling often, but when you do see her, it's there. She leaves no room for any questions. She checks every box. Granted, she has lost some battles, you know what I'm saying, notably the official battle. Outside of that, I don't really know what battle she's lost clear, but Jazz is the example of when you sit out, how you're supposed to be when you come back. Loaded Lux, since, you know, he had a great battle with Calico, great battle with Hollow's Don, one of the top battles, you know, ever really. And again, this is no hate on Loaded Lux, but when you have 9 months to prepare for Sue Surf, granted, Lux won that battle 3-0, but the material itself just wasn't mind-blowing. It just was enough to win. Again, had Surf got through his rounds, now we're probably talking about this battle in a whole different light. when you can sit out for 8 to 9 months and have that preparation time, that time to get your memory right, it's an expectation for you to come and decimate your opponents. And shout out to Gaddis. But Jazz, I think she clearly won the battle. She probably arguably got every round, right? She got every round, and she was clean. Lux, on the other hand, comes back, has a pretty good first round versus Geechee Gotti. I mean, all his rounds were pretty good, but he just wasn't as effective as Jazz the Rapper. So when I asked a lot of my peers, people or just regular fans, I say who had better performance, better bars between Jazz and Loaded Lux on a Drake event, a lot of people say Jazz. And it's not even up for debate. So my thing is, when Lux is hailed as the almighty Zeus with the lightning bolt in his hand looking down at the regular people, he's supposed to come down and decimate. And he's supposed to be clean. Mind you, Gotti had just battled Calico 30 days prior and was pretty clean throughout the battle. Lux, on the other hand, had a few slips and blips, and not really supposed to be having that when you haven't really battled. It's not like he had a battle a month before, or even 2 months before, or 3 months before. Jazz comes back, is clean. And I believe, and not to make this all about Jazz, but I believe Jazz has ascended to a level of master battle rapper. And what I mean by that, somebody who's pretty much, because I always say you cannot truly master battle rap because it's always evolving. So when you see guys like Jay Mills, Cassidy, and even Mook and Lux, a lot of the fans be like, hey, they kind of need to update their style. But in terms of mastering it as much as possible, Jazz I believe, is now in master class of battle rap, such as I want to put T-Top in that category. I want to put John is probably in the master class of battle rapper. But yeah, give her props. Give her props. Again, this is about passing the torch. This is about growth. You guys hold on to this torch. There is no going forward. There's no going forward. Now, the point I'm just trying to say is, if we deem these people to be GOATs, guys like myself and JC and Chilla and Rump Nitty and B-Dot, we'll never really get our just due until probably long after we're retired or we're dead. You know what I'm saying? Then people will look back and be like, you know what? Now that I think about it, such and such might have been better than who they said was the GOATs. And these guys not only obtain GOAT status because of their skills, because they definitely are highly skilled. Murder Mook, Lux, you can't say nothing wrong about these guys. But a lot of it also is really stemming from the fact that these were the first people we saw do it, and a lot of us grew up on that. Even a lot of us battle rappers got our inspiration from watching these guys do it. So yes, they have to be there, but should they always be that? Again, you could take NFL wide receivers, running backs, NBA point guards. In every era, somebody was the GOAT in that era. And then when the years go by, somebody else is now the GOAT. And they actually give them that. They actually give them their just due. It kind of don't really happen like that in battle rap. Like, they'll say, yo, Danny, yo, you the fucking GOAT, bro. But it's like, it won't be widely accepted when the consensus is Lux and Mook, and these guys are the GOATs, right? Geechee Gotti, it's done. He's put in. Let's be honest. He's put in more work than a lot of the guys that they deem as GOATs. Not to single nobody out, but what he's done. And champion of the year twice in a row as of the recording of today. He might get it for a third time. 3 champion of the nights. Again, facing all the legends, the Head Ices, the K Shines, the Luxes, the fucking damn, even, I mean, just the fighters like Big K, myself, Rum Nitty, JC, Av, T-Top. These are all killers. And this man has been in there with all of these killers. Now, whether you say he won or lost these battles, he's always made it a great battle. Okay? He's always made it a great battle. I don't know, man. I just feel like a lot of us just don't get that recognition because we're always in the shadow of the greats who are not really putting in the amount of work that we're putting in and producing classic battles. I mean, so when you see Lux on a card, and here's the thing about battle rap, and this is what I've been trying to tell people. Anybody could win or lose a rap battle. Anybody can have battle of the night. You just don't know how this shit is gonna turn out. I might be on a card with a bunch of undercards, a bunch of no-name guys, and I don't even have battle of the night because it just didn't work like that. I might have bodied my man. My man might have killed me. Meanwhile, two guys we never heard of put on a back and forth show and they get battle of the night. So I say all that to say, just because Lux and Mook be on a card don't necessarily mean they have to get battle or battler of the night and that they're going to get it. Again, the Jazz and Lux comparison thing is it's like she's proof and the example. I think she's one of the examples of how you should be when you come back. You come back, you beat your opponent clear, and you be clean. That's it. It's really, and because there's no excuse to not be that. There's no excuse to not do that when you're touted as. And Jazz is up there herself. And granted, you could say that the margin of skill set is different from the men and the women. Jazz ain't in there with the males, right? But the thing is, in her respective field, against her respective competition, she's battling the toughest women in the world. And getting like clear wins on the toughest women in the world. Lux on the other end, he'll, you know, him in Clips, you revisit that battle, it was okay. You revisit him in Arsenal, it's like, did he beat Ars? You revisit him in Geechee Gotti, you revisit him and, I mean, him in Murder Mook the second time, it's like, he's not really, even him in Surf, he's not really killing anybody. Or is he like, man, I don't want to make this all about, but that I only using Lux because that's the standard, right? If that's the standard, then that's who I just got to compare all this shit to. And you know, shout out to Serious Jones, you know what I mean? Like one of the other goats in this shit that probably don't get the just due that he deserves, you know what I mean? But quick shout out to him. Again, y'all gotta wake up, open your eyes that I think these guys' styles, I mean, the game is just kind of moved forward and they necessarily had it. And just like 5 to 6 years from now, Danny Myers' style is gonna be played out. Geechee Gotti's not gonna be as fire. Jazz the Rapper isn't gonna. There's gonna be newer people who are putting in the work. But right now, we are the ones that are laying the groundwork for them. We are laying the groundwork for the future generations to come in. So we, in a sense, do solidify our spot in the history books. But now it's like, when you compare the eras, where do you rightfully place a Danny Myers and a Chilla Jones or a B-Dot, a K-Shine, a Big K, O-Red? Where do these names fit in the grand scheme of things? Are we always going to be underneath the forefathers who were simply here before us? You know, that's real deep thought. That's a real question. Shout out to the ice cream truck in the background. Shit, man. I'm too cold. That's what they trying to tell me. Damn, I'm laughing. The game is changing, man. The game is changing. So when you see, listen, when y'all see New Era versus the Smack Era, this is a theme. This is a theme that's going on, right? Why is it a theme? Because it's like the new guys are saying, hey, y'all had y'all time. We here now. So when you see Easy the Block Captain going crazy, you see Real Sick going crazy. When you see, even go back to Briz and T-Top era, the work that they have done cannot be unsung. They cannot be undermined of what they have done. Chess, in the short time that he's from age 14 to 23, like what other battle rapper you know have damn near a legendary career from age 14 to 23? He's one of the GOATs in his own right. This, like, again, everybody gonna win, everybody gonna lose. So we're not talking about wins and losses here. We're talking about the amount of work and the amount of impact. The amount of impact. Wow. Wow. What credit does Geechee Gotti get for, like, carrying Compton and the West Coast on his back through a pandemic, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic? What props does Jazz the Rapper get for being one of the cornerstones, or 40 Bars, E Hart, Miss Hustle, Official, the newer queens that are the RXs, the even Prestavia? Like, where does their work fit in the grand scheme of things? They not gonna never be a GOAT. They can't be, because Rex exists. You know what I'm saying? But then when you see Rex on the card, Rex gonna give you a couple cool bars in this day and era, this time, and he gonna give you a couple cool bars, and then he's out of there. That's that. Meanwhile, E Hart, 40 Bars, JC, next, Emerson Kennedy come, and then they give you 3 rounds of complete fire. But they not never gonna be better than Rex. See, the crazy thing about all this is that the game is, or what have you done for me lately, right? But it kind of doesn't apply to the GOATs, right? It doesn't apply to the ones that are already solidified. It don't apply to them. Danny Myers come have one bad game versus Real Sick, mind you. Now let's, me versus Ill Will, Drugs, Arsenal, Kid Chaos, Don Marino. Just so many battles, right? Going crazy. Shotgun Suge. In a year's, not even a whole year, but just this span of time. Mess Up versus Real Sick, and now my whole Champion of the Year run is over. Come right back after the Real Sick battle. I have a crazy battle with Ednez, Bill Collector, Jada Nightwing, 2-on-2, Tink the Demon. And so many other crazy showings immediately after one bad game. So now, Danny is just, maybe Danny can make top 10. So, like 17 crazy battles, one bad battle, and then you're out of it. Rex come, Rex done put in the work. Rex lose, gets booked again, he's still Rex. The wins and losses don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want this to be underlooked with the Geechee and Lux battle, is where I think that was symbolic of pretty much how these eras are going. I think Geechee kind of did, because he got that opportunity to battle Lux, opportunity that myself, Daylight, Chilla, B-Dot, JC, just a lot of other MCs, we all kind of want that battle because that's like the end game battle, right? But I think with Geechee doing that versus Lux, even if you guys got Lux winning, it's still I think it's just a proof of the transition. It's just proof of changing of the guard. It's proof that we're in another state now, battle rap. Like, you had your time, you did your thing. And that's not to say Lux is trash and Lux is overrated. We're not saying that. I'm not saying that. Anybody can lose a battle. You lose one battle, it don't mean you're trash. Well, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, with Geechee winning, with the general consensus, it's that Geechee won, right? With Geechee winning that battle over Lux is saying you guys can lose too, to us newer people. You guys can lose. We are not here to play. We are really here to stay. You had your time. It's our shit now. And again, this is why these new era guys are basically saying, hey, we're gonna get all these Smack era guys up out of here. And to be honest, the new era guys are, as a fan, not even as a battle rapper, but as a fan, the new era guys are putting up the better bars, putting on the better showings, being more consistent than the Smack era guys. Is that just a sign of age? Age is just catching up to these guys, or the lack of inspiration? Do they care so much because I think these guys have solidified themselves. It's kind of like, I'm here. I don't got nothing else to prove. And they, honestly, they don't. But these hungrier guys do have something to prove. They have a point to prove. This is why I feel like they are going crazier. So, hence, you get the new era versus Smack era. Now they want to do a whole card of era versus era. And let me ask you guys this. If this card does go down, which I believe it will, if the new era wins just like the majority of the battles on that card, what do y'all say? What's the topic then? What's the water cooler talking point then? What is the hot take? Is it that, hey, those guys are kind of like past their primes and they're out of here, and we just gotta get the new guys their praise and their props? Or the Smack era guys win the majority of those battles. It's like, you new era guys was talking all this shit, but when it was time to put up and show up and prove, you failed. You're not really what you say you are. And the Smack era, again, dominates, and all of this shit that I'm just talking right here is all irrelevant, because I'm giving these guys their props. You know what I mean? And like where I stand, oh man, where do I stand? In my Smack era, my new era? It's kind of like I'm in an anomaly, because I actually was battling before both of those eras. You know what I'm saying? I've been battling since 1992. And when I did come to URL, that was 2013 in the PGs. And it's like, was 2013 the start of the new era? Or was it the start of the new era 2015, 2016 UFF? I don't know. It's kind of like a blur. It's kind of like a gray area there. But I wouldn't consider myself Smack era, so I guess I would be new era technically. But I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments, what do y'all think I am? Is Danny Myers new era? Is he Smack era, or is he neither? Like, I don't know. I'm my own era. I'm in a fucking parallel universe. But again, thank y'all for just even listening to me and just hearing my viewpoints on this. Tell me if y'all agree or disagree. Leave like, share, comment below. Go to thebarguy.com, support the merch, and just shout out to the whole culture, man.